Are you like me, desperately trying to find new ways of making money on Hypixel Skyblock, but always getting recommended videos like this, or like this? Videos that claim that you're going to make 250 million coins in 10 minutes. Is that true? No, that's absolutely not true. That's just unrealistic. That's why today I'm going to be going in depth to how you could turn that 1 million coins into 100 million coins, or that 100 million coins into a billion coins. So without further ado, let's get into the video. But just before we do, if you do happen to enjoy this video, then consider subscribing. We're heading for 10k. That's where we want to be, so please subscribe. Also, if you've already joined the Discord server, consider doing so. We've got some giveaways going on over there that you probably wouldn't want to miss, so make sure to join. It's linked in the description. Also, it's important that you leave a like on the video. Just why not? Your boy's trying to get back into the algorithm, so let's help me along the way. Anyway, let's get into the video. I hope you all do enjoy. There's so much more to AH flipping than just buying an item for less and selling it for more. You need to know how to manipulate the market and basically use it to your advantage, so that's what we're going to be going over today. First of all, we'll go over the types of auction flipping. You've got your bin to bin flips, where I find most of my success. Essentially all you do is buy an item on bin and sell it on bin. It's that simple. You can also sometimes find good deals on auctions and sell them on bin. That's another way you can do it. Now that's out of the way, let's actually see some examples. So if I go over to my auctions, as you can see I've got 244 mil auctions that I've sold. All of these cost me about 205 mil to buy, so you can see the first thing I want to say is your profit margins are really important. I feel like this is where a lot of people go wrong, and they don't understand that they need to make a good margin in order to account for the tax and the listing fees. For instance, this Shadow Assassin chestplate here that I sold for 37.5 million coins. You'll pay 1% listing fees and 1% tax, so you'll lose 2% of this. So when I collect this, I'll actually lose 375k in tax. And when I listed it, I would have lost 375k to actually list it on the auction house. Something that a lot of people do, they will basically relist and relist and relist an item if their item doesn't sell after 5 minutes. Like, you've got to be patient. AH flipping isn't going to make you 250 mil in 10 minutes like I said at the start of the video. Some days are slower than others and you've just got to wait it out. I understand sometimes if an item just isn't going to sell and for instance the price has dropped, just cut your losses, relist, so you have the money to reinvest. But unless you have to, don't relist an item because you'll lose a lot of coins. This means basically that when I'm looking at this 37.5 million coins, I need to account that I'm going to lose 750k. So you need to buy this for a price where you're happy to lose 750k of your profit and still make a nice enough profit. Something else that you need to consider is basically, is the item that you're about to flip worth flipping? Like this Juju shortbow here, this took quite a while to sell. This probably took like 12 hours to sell, but I was making like 5 million coins profit on it, which is quite nice. Now if I was only going to make 2 million coins profit on it, there is basically no point, because in that time where the item's taken to sell, you can make more profit elsewhere. Granted, even 12 hours for 5 million coins profit is not great, but I wasn't even online, so it makes sense. If I was only making a 2 million coin profit off that, I would prefer to save the coins, reinvest it in Flower of Truths, and probably make way more coins in a lot shorter space of time. One more tip while I'm on that subject, unless you're really familiar with the market, don't flip pet skins. What might look like a great flip at first is going to waste a lot of time and possibly even cost you money. What I've got here is a prime example of price fixing. As you can see, the same person has listed numerous of these tiger skins for around about the same price. What he would have done is bought them for much cheaper and then sold them on, basically increasing the price of the actual market value. Basically what I'm trying to say is pet skins and other items that aren't usually obtainable are pretty much a no-go for flipping unless you're really sure of the market. So now that's out of the way, I'll actually get into some examples of what I flip, what prices I usually buy them at, what prices you should usually sell them at. Obviously that's sort of subjective to the market value at the time. First of all, Shadow Assassin chestplates. Usually have a legendary or mythic. You're looking for ancient, 5-starred, hot potatoed. It's basically as simple as buying them and selling them. I mean, that's all there is to it. This is a very simple one. Make sure that the item that you're buying is still going to be profitable after the listing fees and tax, like I said before. When you're flipping items that are 28 million coins, for instance, obviously the fees are going to be 280k and another 280k. So over 500k. Just make sure you account for that. The item that probably makes me the most coins is Flower of Truths. If you've watched any of my Week to Hyperion or Week to Terminator series, then you'll know this, because this is literally all I flip a lot of the time. Although it's not as simple as it seems on face value, there are a lot of different things that can increase and decrease the value of Flower of Truth, so let's get into that. For instance, if you just search Withered, you'll see all the Withered Flower of Truths come up. Now the lowest Withered Flower of Truth at the moment is 8.6 mil, and the lowest bin on a normal Flower of Truth is about 4.2 mil. So the first thing you could do is just search for withered Flower of Truth that are listed for lower than market value for withered, as people a lot of the time don't understand that, you know, it adds a lot of value. Now something else that you can do is search for a normal Flower of Truth, maybe find one that's hot potatoed and it's got 2 or 3 stars, ultimate wise would be nice, or if there's any other enchantments. Then search for Wither Blood, which is the reforged stone that applies withered to the weapon. As you can see at the moment, you can pick one up for about 2.1 mil. And then what you do is you just keep refreshing the market until you find a Flower of Truth that's got a few stars and a hot potato books for around about 4.5 million coins, which trust me, you will. Then all you do is apply the withered reforged stone. At that point you've spent 4.5 mil on the Flower of Truth, 2.1 mil on the Wither Blood. So that's 6.6 mil, and then you just list it as a withered Flower of Truth for 8.6 mil, and you're going to make just less than 2 mil profit, which is quite easy money. Other aspects that will add value to a Flower of Truth would include Fabled, obviously the hot potato books and the stars, Soul Eater, ultimate wise, and obviously if it's recombobulated then it's going to add a ton of value too. Something that I would say is when you're looking for flips on Flower of Truths, just double check the value of the lowest mythic Flower of Truth before you start flipping. That way if you see one that's listed for less by accident, you can buy it with confidence to know that you're going to make profit. A lot of the time people list recombobulated Flower of Truths up for the price of a normal Flower of Truth. I have no idea why, but people do. Another item that I've had a lot of luck with recently, and I've made a lot of coins from recently, is the Juju Shortbow. This is a prime example. You want to be looking for Soul Eater, 5-starred, hot potatoed. You know, it would be nice, but in this case it's not. So you can see Soul Eater 3, we've got one for 36 million here that's just been listed. Granted, this one's hot potatoed, knocked 500k off the price, and you're going to be making 4 to 5 million coins profit just like that. It's not just Soul Eater 3 that you want to look for. Soul Eater 1 and Soul Eater 2 will also add a lot of value, so you want to look out for that as well. Soul Eater 4 usually takes quite a while to sell, but is a lot of the time more profitable. And then obviously again, if it's recombobulated, then it's worth even more. Other items that are good to flip are Midas staffs. Now in the past I've tried to flip 100ml Midas staffs, and it worked okay, but you do incur a lot of fees. Like if you were to sell a 150ml Midas staff, you're going to lose 3ml in tax and listing fees, so you really do have to have a large profit margin in order to actually be able to profit. Whereas the way that I've been flipping these recently, essentially all I'm looking for is the lowest bin, and a lot of the time it's 50 million coins, but it's been 50 million coins in the past couple of weeks, and it seems to be fairly stable. A lot of the time people list these for way cheaper because these Midas staffs used to be way cheaper and they've still somehow not adjusted to the price. So I've actually missed a few listed up for like 25ml, which, you know, obviously is quite annoying, but at least you can actually see the flips coming up. At the same time, I have picked a few up for around 45 million coins in the past week or so it's something you want to look out for. So this next method is slightly different. It's essentially a craft flip, but it's still AH flipping. So as you can see at the moment, the lowest bin for Necron boots are 14 million coins. In order to craft these Necron boots, we need number 1, a pair of Wither boots. As you can see at the moment, the lowest bin's 1.65 mil. And we'll also need 8 Diamantes handles. As you can see, they're around 1.4 mil at the moment. So let's say for instance you buy your 8 Diamantes handles for 1.4 million coins per on average, and you buy your Wither boots for 1.65 mil, add that together, we get 12.8 million coins. So 12.8 mil is what you've spent, and this is what you can sell them at. So you're going to be making a million coins profit. It's quite easy, it's quite simple. Just try it out. So the next item is this Dwarf Turtle Shelmet. I've had quite a lot of luck with this recently, I've made a lot of profit. So as Diana has just been the Mer, a lot of these have come onto the market. Now 2 days ago is probably when the price of these were at the lowest. The market was sort of adjusting, it kept going up and down, it was sort of strange. But I was able to pick quite a few of these up for around about 4 million coins quite easily because that was the price, but I knew they were going to go up because at the moment they're not obtainable. This exact same method works with items like the Spooky Cupcake. If you can stockpile these once it's just been the spooky event, then you can make so many coins just waiting a few days and selling them on. I mean, obviously this is on a lower scale than the Shelmet, but it's something else. Now, something else that you could consider is something that basically aids you to flip. That would be using a client that has basically mods that single out items on the AH that are listed for less. There's a lot more features than that, but that's the main thing that it does really, and you can search more in depth for items in terms of enchantment on items and things like that. Personally for me, I'm not a fan of the mods in terms of AH flipping. I just prefer to do it normally. I could probably make more coins with a mod, but that's just my opinion. I know it works very well for a lot of people. It's something you could consider. Obviously, there are way more items to flip. Like, you can pretty much flip any item on the AH if you know the market. But there's just not enough time in this video to go over them, and these are just some of my personal favourites that make me the most coins. Hopefully they can make you coins as well. To be honest, the best thing about AH flipping is the fact that it is essentially passive. If you've got 100 million coins to spend, you invest 100 million coins, you come back in an hour, you see what's sold, you collect the items that have sold. Maybe if you have to relist the items that haven't sold after an hour, I wouldn't recommend it. But then you reinvest again. I mean, it's as simple as that. It is essentially passive. That 10 minutes of flipping that you actually do every hour, I mean, the other 50 minutes you can do whatever you want with. You can play dungeons, you could go outside, you can, you know, this life, do whatever you want. Even if you don't use this method regularly, you might as well do it before you go offline, so that when you come back online, at least you've got some sort of passive profit. If you've got a booster cookie, you can literally flip wherever you want. Like, it just makes sense to do. Anyway, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you all did enjoy, and I hope it was useful for some people. Anyway, I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.